ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ونبيك محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him. We seek His forgiveness from the evil of our souls. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to send His peace and blessings upon our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his household, his companions, and upon all those who follow the right path until the day of resurrection. Amen. My dear brothers and sisters, today is another Jum'ah, and see how fast the days are going. 7 days have been deducted from our life span. 7 days. We are closer to the grave. 7 days from last week to now. Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make things very easy for us. As we know, our sitting on Friday is basically focused on the affairs of the youth. Last week, we looked at parenting, because when we talk about youth, we are talking about a group of people that are very difficult to deal with. Very difficult to deal with. People with lots of challenges. And the only thing that will help us, بعد توفيق الله سبحانه وتعالى, of course, the first help is from Allah. The first help is from Allah. Seeking help in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then after that, we have to have the right parenting methodology. We have to have the right skills as to how to handle this youth, these children. So, last week we talked about Islam laying a roadmap for us. And we have clear examples from the prophets, from our own Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when it comes to that roadmap. Islam has so much to offer to us. We are yet to discover some of it. Now, when it comes to parenting, Islam says that you do not start to care about the child only when they are born. Only when you see their face, that's the time you start to prepare. Islam says that you start to prepare for the child, you start to look after the child before they were born. How? Going back to last week's lecture, how do we look after a child who is not yet born? He is not in existence. How do we look after them?
The right wife.
By choosing the right wife. By choosing the right wife. You may think it is early for you to sit down and listen to this lecture because you are still in year 12, year 3, year 4, this, that, some of you. But it is not. By the time you know it, we'll be attending your walima. Very soon, inshallah. By the time you know it, wallahi, the days, the times, they go so fast. So it is good that we start to talk about these things now. Always think about this, that I have to look after my children before they are born. Go for the right woman. Go for the right man. Think about this, that the woman is going to be the first school that the children are going to attend. The first school that a child attends is the school at home. So if this school is not based on moral values, if this school has no principles, there is no vision in this school, how do you think the child is going to develop to be a good child? You know, children are like a seed. When we plant a seed, we need three things. We need three things to get this seed to germinate, to grow. Yeah? We need what? We need water, isn't it? We need sunlight. We need the air. We need the air. Those of you that are doing science, you know this. These three things are vital to a seedling. A seedling, a seed that has grown, germinated, it needs these three things. You need the water, you need the sunlight, then you need air. If one of these three things is absent, then this tree seedling, which is going to grow to become a tree, is not going to grow well. So children as well, they need nurturing. We need to look after them from when they are young. And we said as well that Islam looks after the child before they were born by what? We do dua, isn't it? We always make dua for our children. Even now that you haven't got a child, you haven't even got married, you can still make dua. Before you get married, you can make dua. And when you are married, before you meet with your wife, before you share your marital bed, you make dua. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us a very, very important dua. He said, whosoever that says when they are meeting with their wife, Allahumma jannibni shaitan, wa jannib shaitan ma razaqtana. Oh Allah, keep shaitan away from me. Or jannibna, oh Allah, keep shaitan away from us. Wa jannib shaitan ma razaqtana. And keep shaitan away from what you have blessed us. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if this person is blessed with a child that night with that wife, shaitan will not be able to touch this child. Shaitan will not be able to touch this child. So we need to make these preparations. We need to make this dua. After the child is born, we continuously make dua. Now, last week, we said now that the child is being born, the child is with us now, we need to think about how do we raise this child? What kind of parenting style are we going to adopt to raise this child? And this is where we talked about the different types of parents. And there are different types of parenting styles. We said the educationist, Islamic educationist, they say there are three types of parent. One of them is what? Who can remember those that were here? Child-driven parent. Child-driven parent. What do we mean? Just to make the child happy. This parent is only concerned about the happiness of the child. They love the child so much that if they see the child cries, it worries them. And you know, when children realize this, what do? They blackmail you. They blackmail their parent, their mom and their dad. They pretend to be crying, they pretend. So the dad does, or the parent, they do They can do anything to just make the child happy, to keep them happy. What can I do? She is the only daughter that I have. What can I do? He is the only son that I have. He doesn't want to upset him. He doesn't want to upset her. They do anything that the child requires. If going to sleep at a friend's house makes the child happy, so be it. Every day, can I go to my friend? Yes, you can go. Can I go to this? Yes, you can go. Can I go out with him? Yes, you can go. This is a child-driven parent. They are child-focused. They focus on only the child. What is the other second category? The authoritarian. The authoritarian parent. From the word authoritarian, it means he has to have his own way. Everything is about him. Or everything is about them, the mom and dad. They are authoritarian. The child's feelings are not taken into consideration, and they don't even look at the growth, the age, the development of the child, whether the child is grown now to be able to contribute to the running of the house, the principles, the rules. They are only focusing on their own opinion. And we said that could be seen in parents who will bring a woman tomorrow to their son and say, son, this is the woman that I want you to marry. We have already decided. Or they will bring a husband for their daughter from outside London or outside the UK. They go and they arrange with their cousin or and then they bring the guy, and then the daughter is called, this is your cousin and he is going to marry you. He is going to marry. But Dad, I don't know him. No, you will know him later. You will. But Dad, I don't have any attraction to him. No, you will be attracted to him later. Don't worry. And if the child says no, you say no, eh? Okay, you are haram. You are haram today, from today, and you are not my daughter again. And you know, last time when I was in London, we had a program with one of the chief superintendent of our area in Redbridge. He came and he did a presentation of what they call honor killing. Have you heard of honor killing? Honor killing in this country. He brought live images of cases that they have dealt with, where parents have killed their own daughters. They have killed their own sons just to protect their family honor. The daughter wants to marry someone that she loves, who is a Muslim, who is, mashallah, who has got akhlaq. The parent or the family want her to marry to another person, and she says no, and maybe she wants to go out with for her choice, and then they plot and they get hold of her and she is killed. This is happening in this country. Honor killing, they call it honor. Killing to protect their honor. Where is the honor? There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this. So the authoritarian parent, they are so overprotective of their children that they think the only thing they can do is to impose their own experience, to impose their own opinions on the child. The child has to accept. And then we talked about the third category of parents, or the third category of parenting style, and that is the authoritative parent. The authoritative parent. Authority. There must be authority everywhere. So what this parent do, mom and dad, what they do is they make sure that they assert authority in the family. There is a system in the family. They choose the Quran and the Sunnah, that this is our own principles. These are the principles that we follow in our family. Al-Kitab wa Sunnah. They come together and they draw out rules derived from the book and the Sunnah. For example, they agree on each and every one to have respect. They agree on respect. Because the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Laysa minna man la yarham saghirana wa yuwaqqir kabirana." He is not part of us, he who does not have mercy on our younger one, and he who does not have respect for the old. So they agree on something like this. They agree on greeting, spreading the salam. They agree on spreading the salam based on the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As-salamu qabla al-kalam. Greetings first before talking. And every rule that they lay is supported by something from the Quran and the Sunnah. Yusallimu as-saghirana ala al-kabirana. Yes, the younger ones should say salam on the older one. Al-qa'idu al-maru ala al-qa'id. The one that is passing by should say salam upon the one that is sitting. Al-qalilu ala al-kathir. The small in number should say salam to the big number. They agree on hygiene, that it is part of the deen, hygiene. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about hygiene, spoke about at-tuhuru shatrul iman. Hygiene is part of iman. So everyone in the house should practice hygiene in the house. So these are rules derived from the book and the Sunnah. It is not from the parent. In fact, even the parent themselves have to abide by these rules that they have agreed upon. So when the child wants to break or compromise any of these rules, the dad will stamp their authority. They will say, "No, you cannot do this." When the child wants to go out, they tell him that you have to take permission from your parent. You have to come back home around this time. You shouldn't be coming or hanging around with any type of person. Because the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about a good friend and a bad friend, the influence that they will have on a person. A person's friends can be a source of strength for them, and then they can be a source of what? Failure for them. So this is the authoritative parent. And last week we asked the audience here to each and every one to think and to come back to us to tell us which of these three parents do they think is their parent or was their parent. And we got answers here. Some people said, okay, my dad was an authoritarian dad. Some people said my mom is authoritarian and my dad is authoritative. Some people said nobody said here my parents are child-driven parent, child-focused parent. Okay, now After we have identified the best form of parenting as far as Islam is concerned. As far as Islam is concerned, the best form of parenting is the third one, the being authoritative. To be authoritative. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was authoritative, but not an authoritarian parent. He wasn't an authoritarian, he was authoritative. Now, there is a saying which some people believe is a hadith, but it is not actually a hadith. It is one of the athar, because there is no asal for this particular statement. But a lot of the murabbiyun, the Islamic educationists, they have built their program of bringing up the child based on this guidance. That it is said, لَاعِبْ وَلَدَكَ سَبْعًا وَأَدِّبُوهُ سَبْعًا وَصَاحِبُوهُ سَبْعًا. لَاعِبْ وَلَدَكَ سَبْعًا. It means play with your child for 7. وَأَدِّبُوهُ سَبْعًا. And give him some Islamic adab, etiquette, for 7. وَصَاحِبُوهُ سَبْعًا. And be friends with him for 7. Now if we go by this, even though it is not a hadith, some people said هذا ينسب إلى عمر ibn al-Khattab رضي الله عنه. Said it is a statement uttered by Umar ibn Khattab رضي الله عنه. If we go by this, we have to play with our children for 7 years. When the child is young, either see this is the age of the age of trying to develop a very strong relationship between the parent, the dad and the son, the mom and the son. We should show mercy upon this child. They are only a child, they are children. We should show love to them. They are children. We should overlook a lot of things that they are doing. Subhanallah, in some masajid, when you take a child to the mosque, you are not welcome, especially in London. Don't tell them. But in London, wallahi, there are some masajid. They have age. They have even, something like measurement. They have age. When you enter the mosque, you will see there children below this age are not allowed. This is wrong. Completely wrong. This is the age that we should encourage the children. We play with them. And the best place we take them to, we bring them to the mosque. We bring them to the mosque. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to play with Hassan and Al-Hussein when they were young. At this age, between birth to 7, he used to play with them. He would kneel on his knees and they will climb on his back and he will carry them like a camel. They will be on his back. He will say, Ni'ma jamalukuma. How nice is your camel? How nice is your camel? You imagine the Prophet ﷺ going down to this level. If you say you love the deen because of the deen you are doing, are you better than the Prophet? No. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to have so much love for the children that one day he was, as I said last week, he was on the mimbar giving khutbah, isn't it? He was giving khutbah and he saw his grandchildren. In the hadith, he said, Ya'thuran, i.e., they were eating dust. Children, they take things from the ground and they put it in their mouth. So he saw this, he stopped the khutbah. He stopped the khutbah and he went down and he collected the children, brought them up. He said, Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Allah has spoken the truth. Innama amwalukum wa awladukum fitna. Your wealth and your children are fitna. He said, I was giving my khutbah and I saw my children, these two boys of mine, eating dust, and I couldn't be patient until I stopped the khutbah to go and collect them. And we have seen the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam kissing children. In the hadith Al-Aqra, one of the companions, radiallahu anhu, came and he saw the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam kissing one of his grandchildren. Some said it's Hassan, some said it's Hussein. Al-Muhim, he was kissing. And then this man said, Ya Rasulallah, Atuqabbiluna sibyanakum? O Messenger of Allah, do you kiss your children, the little children, babies? He said, no. He said, Inna li asharatun min al-awlad ma qabbaltu ahada minhum qat. I have 10 children. 10. I have not kissed any one of them. You kiss children? You know the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw this, that hard-heartedness on his face. He said, what can I do for you if the mercy of Allah has been taken away from you? And in the other riwayah, they said, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man la yarham la yurham. Man la yarham la yurham. He who does not show mercy will not be shown mercy. So this age is very important. It's a tender age. We have to let the children play. We can buy them toy. Aisha radiallahu anha was given a toy. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam allowed her to have this baby doll. And she wanted to watch the people from Habasha playing with their sword, with their spears. And the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam took her, allowed her to watch to her satisfaction. We need to share time, have time with our children at this age. So, now that you have built this super strong relationship between you and your child, and the child knows that you are there for them, they are confident that their dad loves them. They look forward to you coming home. When you are going out, they cry. When you are coming home, they look forward to seeing you. They know that the weekend, one of the weekend is for them. But some of us, we work 24/7. 24 hours, 7 days a week, just chasing the pounds. Don't have time for these children. We don't have time for these children. Remember, what is the dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in Surah Al-Isra regarding our parents? Rabbi irhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Rabbi irhamhuma. Oh Allah, have mercy upon my two parents kama rabbayani saghira. Just like they looked after me with love and care when I was young. To be frank, those of us that are coming from Africa, I don't remember. I don't even know how I spent my childhood with my parents. Do you? No. Do you have any memories? All I know is, you come. I don't remember. I don't have any memories. That I did something. I don't have that memory at all. So, because I don't have this memory, should I treat my children like that here? No. Spare the children now. We lost our childhood. Beautiful memories of childhood were lost. Those were the days. The parents used these tough measures to bring us up. Now we are here in the UK. You are in the UK now. At least adopt a better approach to the children, to your child, so that these children will grow up and they will remember, oh, I remember when we went to Legoland. How many people have been to Legoland with their children here? When I went to Legoland with my dad, there are so many recreational centers, even though yes, there is a lot of fitna out there for us Muslims, but there are we can go. We just choose the time. We try to avoid peak hours, but we still have places that we can go with our children. Chessington. I've been there with my daughter, and we sat on that crazy vampire ride, and we were going, and when we came down, oh, I love you, Daddy. I said, I love you too. You see, I didn't have this with I was wishing that me and my dad had climbed a tree together, at least so I can remember that we climbed a tree together. You see, but I've forgiven him. Yes, they didn't have all these lectures that we are having now. Huh?
You saw in the film just.
Yes. to them, to be tough with a child is the best way. So that the child should see you as a parent. You have to be tough for the child to have respect for you and to consider you as a parent. If you speak, they should be quiet. You know, a man came to Umar radiallahu anhu. Actually, they said it was Umar who was asking the man. Umar asked this man regarding his relationship with his family, his children. He said, how are you and your children? He said, me and my children, if I enter the house, everyone is quiet. Everyone is quiet. Everyone should be quiet. Then Umar radiallahu anhu withdrew the responsibility which he gave to him. He was asked to be one of the leaders in the Muslim Ummah of that time. He withdrew the responsibility he gave to him. He said, if you don't have mercy on your own family, how can you have mercy on the other people? This is not the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should be gentle with the children. Now this continues until 7. La'ibu wa awladakum sab'a aw la'ib waladaka sab'a. Play with them for 7 years. Now wa addibuhum sab'a. This is very important. Now for 7 years, try to impact moral training upon them now. Now that they are now 7 years, it is now time for us to start to teach them. You started a long time ago. From that time that you were playing with them, you started teaching them. But at this time now, you are now doing it formally. Because the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Muru awladakum bis salati wa hum abna'u sab'a, wadribuhum 'alayha wa hum abna'u 'ashar, wa farriqu bainahum fil madaji." He said, "Muru awladakum bis salat wa hum abna'u sab'a." Command your children to pray when they are 7 years old. You see? So even though this maqal, this statement, la'ib waladaka sab'a wa addibuhu sab'a wa sahibuhu sab'a, even though it is not a statement of the Prophet, but it goes aligned with the methodology of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because it is from the Salaf. So now, when the child is now 7 years, this is the time that we start to make them understand the importance of things now in life. Because in this country, a 7-year-old child will be, where will they be? Is it in nursery or where? Year 1?
Yeah,
They will be, if they are born before September, they will be in year 2. And if you don't take them to school at this age, what will happen to you? You go to jail. At this age, it is a must in this country. You either take them to school or you do home tuition. But this child has to start to learn. They have to start to learn. In fact, for them here is 5 years. From 5 years, Islam is saying, Sabah, command your children to pray 7. Start to take them to the masjid and let them know now that Salat is one of the most important obligations in Islam at this age. At this age, try to inculcate in them the fundamentals of Islam, the akhlaq. For example, at this age, this child should be able to knock on the door. Don't let them just enter in your room like that. Let them knock. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la yasta'dhinukum. In Surah Nur, say, oh, you who believe, let those people that are under your control, your children, those that have not reached hulum, i.e. maturity, who are around this age of 7, before maturity, let them knock. Teach them to seek permission from you before they enter your rooms. So don't underrate it. The child just enters the room like that. Oh, he's a child. No. At this age, we now start to tell this child that you should say salam. When you come from school, you see your mom and your dad or your siblings, your older siblings, you should say salam to them. Or you start to say salam to them, to teach them. This is the age of ta'deeb. This is the age of taking their madrasa very serious. A lot of the Salaf, at this age now, they are almost about to finish memorizing the Quran even. From 7. For 7 years. La'ib waladaka sab'a. The first 7 is to play. Wa'adibuhu sab'a. The second 7 is a period of teaching, correcting. Don't oversight. Don't oversight. When the child does something which is un-Islamic, they eat with I have seen people allowing their children to eat with their left hand at this age. And when you talk to them, they say they are children. No, don't do that. Correct them. Tell them that they should not eat with their left hand. They should try and eat with the right hand. لا تأكلوا بالشمال فإن الشيطان يأكل بالشمال. Don't eat with the left hand because shaitan eats with the left hand. Eat with the right hand. Tell the child to, from this time now, before they eat, they should say Bismillah. You know, Abdullah ibn Salama, Abdullah ibn Salama, he said, I was the stepchild of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Kuntu yadi tatishu fil ina. He said, my hand used to be flying everywhere on the plate, which means that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and him, they used to eat together. He said, my hand was flying everywhere. My hand was everywhere on the plate. He said, and then the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to me, he said, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to me, Ya ghulam, Sammillah. وَكُلْ بِيَمِينِكَ وَكُلْ مِمَّا يَلِيكَ. He corrected him there and then. Don't underrate this age. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw this boy doing this thing. His hand was everywhere. You know, when you eat with children, especially in Africa, we used to eat together with our parents. And your hand is here and there and there. So the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, Ya ghulam, ghulam here means young little lad. He said, Samillah, say Bismillah. Say Bismillah before you eat. Wakul biyaminik, and eat with your right hand. Wakul mimma yalik, and eat that which is in front of you. Eat that which is in front of you. At this age, if we see our children coming out, not putting on anything, not dressing properly, we shouldn't allow them. Now, some people, even at this age of 7, they will still allow the children to be passing around with only pants or their underwear. You don't do that. We start to let them understand the importance of aura, the importance of covering their aura. We dress them properly when we are bringing them to the masjid, even when they want to pray. At this age now, don't just tell them, come and join us for prayers. Be patient to teach them how to perform wudu correctly. Be patient to teach them how to perform wudu correctly, because this is what they do at school. The teachers at school are you saying they are more patient than you? No. Be patient, because you are the father. You have to be patient. Don't just ask them to join in the prayers. Let them perform proper wudu. And we teach them from this time. We teach them the istinja and istighmar. Which is istinja is, what is istinja? Using water. Using water when they use the toilet. They should be using water. We teach them that they should be using water, not only tissue. When they finish using the toilet, they use water. If they don't have water, then they can use dry materials like tissue. We start to encourage them, even if it costs us to reward them for some of these good practices. You know, some parents, they have a chart at home. Any good thing that the child does for the day, they put a star against that their name, if they have 1 or 2, 3 children. And then at the end of the week, they collect all these points and then they reward them. They give them a treat. If you have to do this at this age. If you have to reward them for coming to the masjid, reward them for that. Ask them to pray, especially this summer, when the time is late, they have to go to school. Ask them to stay and pray the Maghrib. After the Maghrib, let them join the Maghrib and the Isha. Now, let them join the Maghrib and the Isha, and then they go to bed. But don't let them sleep without performing the Isha. Now, when this first 7 is completed, the third 7 is just an easy walkover. Although the third 7 falls within the most difficult time of the child's life, the third 7 falls within the age of adolescence. In Arabic, they call it Sinul Murahaqa. Sinul Murahaqa. This is the age of difficulty. This is the teenage, the crazy age that most of you are going through now. How old are you?
19, but between them.
Okay. Soon you will go away from this. This is the crazy age now. If you have not shown love to your child, to create a very, very good relationship between you and your child, to make the child love you, to make the child realize that you love them so much, You know, like the love that Yusuf felt from his dad. Yeah? Yusuf felt loved by his dad. He knew that his dad loved him so much. His dad was his best friend. By the way, behave friendly to your child, but don't be a friend. Don't be a friend to your child. You can behave in a friendly way, but don't be a friend, because friends, they jump boundaries. You are a parent. You are a parent. This is a mistake. You can behave friendlily to the child, but don't be the friend. Because we know how friends talk to each other, isn't it? Friends are friends. They have some informal language that they can use to each other. And the dad and the parent-child relationship is a formal relationship that must be respected at all times. It must be respected at all times. You can behave in a friendly way to your child, but don't be a friend. Now, Yusuf, alayhi salam, when he saw his dream, when he had a dream, who was the first person that he contacted? The father, isn't it? Because he had very good relationship with his dad. Because he trusted his dad. Because he trusted in the wisdom. His dad was a role model. You know, our children should see us as role models, as people that are capable of solving problems. That is why when he woke up, he came to his dad. He said, Ya abati, inni ra'aytu ahda ashara kawkaba wa shamsa wal qamara ra'aytuhum li sajidin. Said, oh my dearest father. You look at the way he was even addressing his father. Ya abati. He could have said Ya abi. In Arabic, you can say Ya abi. Ya abi means my father. But Ya abati is more respectful. My dearest father. What is the difference between my father and my dearest father? Have you ever said to your dad, Ya abati? Which one do you think you can use, Ya abi or Ya abati? Which one would you like to use for him? Huh? Dad. You know, even the word dad, the tone of it can differentiate between a dad who is loved and a dad who is just a dad. So Yusuf alayhi salam came to his dad and he confided in him because the relationship has been built long time ago between him and the dad. So when he saw this confusing dream, he came to his dad and he told him everything. If you have built this relationship from 7, the first 7 you showed love to the child, and they understand that, you make them understand that you love them, you care for them. You instill in them that you invested in them your love. And when they are 7, the second stage, you took time from that second 7, you try to train them up. You try to instill in them Islamic moral values. Wallahi, when they enter the third 7, by then they shall have been 14. When they enter the teen, they will come back to you. They will see you as a confidant. They will come to you, they will feel free to discuss. For the girls, they will feel free normally to discuss with their mothers. The boys, they will feel free to discuss with their their fathers of what is happening in them, even the changes that they are going through, the psychological, all the body changes that is happening to them. They will come and tell you. And if they have any problem, whether a problem that has to do with school or with their friends, they will count on you for advice. You see, because the most dangerous thing is when our children keep things away from us. And when we become the last to know what is happening in their lives. When they go through any difficulty, they have their mobiles at home. They withdraw and they are in their rooms. Because the friends are not coming in, but they have the mobile. They text to their friends. This is what I'm going through. And subhanAllah, an inexperienced person advising an inexperienced person. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can help. So this teenager has a problem, and then he texts his teenage friend, and then the teenage friend will give advice, and then they will keep giving advice to each other like that. Probably things will go well. Sometimes, in many cases, things will not go well. And when things go wrong, that's the time that you get to know. But it's been going on without you knowing. Now, the second 7 is very important. This is the age of giving moral training to the child. The third 7 says, وَصَاحِبُوهُمْ, be friends to them. It means behave friendlily to them. See them like people now, like someone that has matured, they are now growing. Don't underrate their opinion again. Sometimes suggest things to them, make suggestion, or allow them to make their own suggestion. Allow them to make their own contribution. At this age, 14, 15, 16, 17, we have built the foundation. Now we trust in them. We trust in them now. We can even go back to them. There is in the Quran, we find out that we have seen a child advising a parent and a parent advising the child, isn't it? In the Quran. So don't say, in my culture, my child is not allowed to advise me. When the child has entered the third 7, sahibuhum, i.e. be companions. Be companions. Bring opinion and allow them to bring their own opinion. Maybe their opinion can be right. If their opinion is right, encourage it. At this age, we have seen some of the Sahabas taking part even in the Ghazwat, the battles. At this age, 14, 15, 16. Osama ibn Zayd, at the age of 18, isn't it? He was made what? He was made an army general. He was made an army general to lead the Sahabas, senior Sahabas. He was made an army general at the age of 18. At the age of 18. So, the second 7 will take the children to 21. Be companions with them for 7 years, and then after which leave them. Leave them now. It means that at this time, if we go by the advice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya ma'ashara al-shabab, man istata'a minkum al-ba'ata falyatazawwaj. O congregation of young men, whosoever amongst you that can afford, let them marry. At this age, that boy shall have reached the age of marrying when they are 21. A lot of our parents got married before 21, isn't it? They got married, they became responsible people. They started running their own families now, their own household. So we become companions with them for 7 years, and upon finishing the third 7, this child is now a mature person, a young man, young adult, who is now even able to have his own family. We now come as parents, we visit them, we make suggestions to them. So with this, we have completed the stages of Tarbiyah and the different years of Tarbiyah. Do we have any question? No? No.
كيف نصلح الخطأ؟ كيف نعمل تصليح؟ كيف نعالج ما مضى؟
كيف نعالج ما مضى? How do we cure, solve what has happened in the past? Well, number one, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us. We make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us, mashallah, He gives us the strength to be able to resolve any mistake that we have done in the past. And in my own opinion, if someone missed out these stages, and many parents have missed out these stages, some of them you will see them in the second 7, almost the end of the second 7. That is the time that they will grab their child and say, I will bring them to the madrasa. This child is not praying. This child, they don't have any respect for me. This child, they say bad words, these kind of things. That's the time they bring, you will hear, you open the door, Imam, is my son. He is now 14 years, he's in here, this. I want him to be registered to come to the madrasa. And this child is registered, and you as an Imam, you tell the mom that, do you know that when he comes on Saturday, he has to wear, everyone should be wearing thawb? Yes. And the mom will go and they will buy the thawb. And this boy will take the thawb. Know what they do? They chuck the thawb here. Here. Yes. Because that is not, you have missed the stage. The child is no longer proud of this thawb. They don't see this thawb. That is one, you have humiliated him first of all. Now for him to be walking with a thawb, when you have not introduced him to thawb when he was young. We have those children. Every day I fight with this kind of boys. I sit them down and talk to them. But if you give them a t-shirt of Manchester United with when Rooney written at the back, they will wear it to come to the mosque. They feel very happy because this is how you have groomed them. So you need to understand where you have gone wrong, and you use a gentle approach. If something has gone bad, now when you want to make mu'alaja, you just need to be very gentle with them. Otherwise, you will end up even not having a spoiled child. Like my sheikh, what did you say last time? Either to have a child or
not to have a child. You better have a spoiled child other than not having a child at all. So.
Yes, you better have a spoiled child that you are working on, you work on them, or you will end up not having a child at all because they will go. In this country, what can you do? The police will come and they will tell you that you are the dad, but we are the we have right over this child than you. They will take the child. They will take the child away, or the child will even make a decision of leaving home. He will leave you. You see, and when children have reached the teenage age, they tend more to listen to their friends than they listen to their parents, except those that have been thoroughly given the second serving. If children have been thoroughly given a very good serving, second serving, now they know that وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. They know the meaning of this ayat. That your Lord has decreed that you worship none but Him alone, and that you should be kind and respectful to your parent. And the child will understand that وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ. That we have enjoined upon the human being, mankind, to be kind and respectful to his parent, especially his mom, who has been carrying him months after a month, and she's been going through weakness after weakness. If you spend time after the first 7 years, the second 7, you invest time teaching the child, or taking them to madrasa, or taking them to any place where they can learn moral values, Islamic training, etiquette, then wallahi, the third 7 will be easy for you. When the child shall have grown up to face the influence of his peer, the peer pressure, he will still have something to lean on. He will lean on the things that he has learned. Why do we see this youth of ours on a Friday like this? I met them here. Before you, the adults, came, I met this youth that they were sitting here. The place was dark. They were sitting talking. And this is not the first time. Yeah? Because, alhamdulillah, the parents, mashallah, they've done very good. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward them and to keep our youth like this. You see? That's why the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Sab'atun yudhilluhumullah fi dhillihi yawma la dhilla illa dhilluh." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide shade for 7 people on a day when there will be no shade except for those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided shade for. And amongst them, he said, "Shabun qalbuhu muta'alliq bil masjid." He said, a young shab, a youth whose heart is attached to the mosque. A young man whose heart is attached to the mosque. When they are in the mosque, they feel very comfortable. They feel very happy. They feel they are not missing out anything. They are not worried about whether it is Manchester and Leicester they are playing or whatnot. You don't care. When you are here, you feel happy. The reason why the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say the same thing when it comes to an old person, because if an old person is making mulazama, is coming to the mosque all the time, we expect him to do that, isn't it? We expect him. He has reached the age where he should be conscious now. He comes to the mosque. He doesn't have much to do outside. But for a youth, a young man whose life has just started, for them to constantly be in the mosque, to be in the places of worship, it means that they have love for Allah and they have love for Islam. And so, to conclude to what I was saying to you is, the only way we can approach how we can resolve what has gone wrong is by us, one, understanding where we've gone wrong and be gentle in correcting it. What can you do if your ex-wife stopped you to see your children? What can you do if your ex-wife stopped you from seeing the children? We know this is a common thing in this country, that children are caught in between, when there is divorce or separation, if they are under the custody of most cases, they are under the custody of the mom. Actually, even in Islamic countries, the mom has right to the custody of the child from the time they are born, if there is talaq, until they are 7 years old. Until they are 7 years old. This is the Islamic Sharia. 7 years old. Okay. If the mom stops the dad from seeing the children, what can the dad do? In my humble opinion, I think they have to try to negotiate. If you love the child, then you have to be patient and try to know why. Why is your ex-wife not allowing you to see the children? Is there anything that you have done which is wrong, which you need to address? Try to, don't just say, she doesn't have right to stop me. Yes, Islamically, she should not stop you from seeing these children, because they are your children. Al-walad yunsab ila abihi. Islam says the child is ascribed to their father, But in this country, the laws are different, and you need to try and apply diplomacy. You need to try and speak to your ex-wife, negotiate with them, and if at all they don't allow you to see the children, and you haven't seen that there is any major thing that you have done for her not to let you see the children, then you can go by the laws of this country. There is no problem if you go by the laws of this country. But because remember, the children are worth fighting for, isn't it? They are worth fighting for. You can go to court. They have family courts. They are full of Muslims. They are full of other people. You fight for the right to see your child. But at the beginning, I humbly believe that we should negotiate. Sometimes we need to give up certain rights that we have for a bigger goal, for a bigger gain. Is it allowed to hit a child under the age of 7? Yes. Well, I'm not saying, because I was saying that we play with them, even when they misbehave at the age of 7, we can discipline them. We can discipline them. Even in this country, where they don't allow parents to hit their children, but they allow you to smack them. We are allowed to smack the child, to use reasonable force. If they want to do things that will endanger their lives, we can use reasonable force. Okay.
I've got a question.
No.
You know, when you say we have to make a dua for the children. I've seen this, I don't know if that's a culture or it's a sunnah. Some people, when they give a bath to the children, they do adhan on their children. Is it permissible?
When they give birth?
Yeah.
It's the sunnah. It is the sunnah that when a child is born, we make adhan on their right ear. As for the iqama, it is not authentic, so we should try to avoid it. Some people, they do the adhan on the right ear and the iqama on the left ear. But the sunnah thabita, the established sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is that he will call adhan on the right ear of the child, and then they will make the aqiqah, the naming ceremony of the child. They will make the other things. The child will be circumcised for the boy. Well, Jazakumullah khairan. We have completed this session for this week, and inshallah next week we will be looking at the other the challenges